Let me start recording. All right, secondary camera up, rolling, and now we are live. Again, sorry for the glare that you might see. My front camera is not the best, and screen protector is kind of fucking that up. The last live that I did a couple nights ago, actually a lot of you weren't in it, but it was well received. I had about 70 interactions with it, so I was like, I might as well give this late night talk shit a chance. So I just wanted y'all's opinion on something. Is everybody in? Everybody in? Everybody listening? All right. So here's a little story time. I'm kind of a piece of shit a little bit sometimes. Always kind of have been, always will be. I think it's just like part of who I am. And you know, it's hard to change that. You know, it's hard to be something that you're not. I've always just been kind of an asshole, kind of always been a piece of shit. I mean, probably got a little bit worse over the years, but you know, kind of an asshole. So this story that I'm about to tell y'all. I had a friend, right? I'm not gonna say any names. She's a girl. I'm me, of course, and then it has to do with like a family member of hers. But anyway, so me and this girl, let's just call her Sarah for now. That's not her name, but we're just gonna refer to her as Sarah. All right, so Sarah and I have been cool, like, all throughout my life. Like, we grew up together, we went to high school together. I mean, we weren't always, like, the bestest of friends. Like, middle school was, like middle school, we had, like, separate friend groups and stuff, but, like, we would still, like, kick it sometimes, and we would, like, still see each other, say what up in the halls and shit like that. But high school was, like, really where we, like, solidified our relationship, and, like, that's like what really like set the foundation for us, and like what made us like, you know, as cool as what we were. I'm just gonna say now we don't talk anymore. We're not really cool. I mean, there's no beef or anything. It's just like we just aren't the same anymore. Probably because of this situation, which is why I want to ask y'all if y'all thought that I was wrong, or if I'm just like overreacting to this. But anyways, me and this girl, Sarah, have been cool since fucking high school and stuff. And my homeboy Steve, I don't know if you're in the chat, Steve, King K, go follow King K. Shout out to King K. Michael, shout out to you too. I don't know if you're out there, but yeah. So King K, he can attest to this. He knows everything. He knows the person that I'm talking about. He's seen our relationship and stuff. He was actually like part of it. I'm pretty sure he actually fucked her. I don't really know, but yeah. So me and this girl have been cool since high school. Fast forward, high school ends, you know, graduation, all that. Fall off for a little bit. I mean, we still text and stuff, but like I was a very antisocial kind of person. I never really went out a whole lot. Still don't go out a whole lot. So we didn't really see each other like a whole lot. Every now and then she'd come through. Back then I didn't really like have reliable transportation, so I wasn't really going anywhere. But so yeah, we would kick it every now and then eventually, like, she suggests the idea. She's like, why don't we become roommates? Why don't we like live together? I'm like, I mean, I guess. So yeah, we became roommates. We started living together. It was cool. Like in the beginning, it was cool because that was like our first time, both of us having freedom and stuff. And like, we just did whatever. Like, nobody was there to tell us. We would just fucking do whatever. And like, we had like the kind of relationship where she'd like bring dudes over, hook up and stuff. I wouldn't say shit. I wouldn't even like really interrupt her. I wouldn't even talk to the dudes or anything like that. But she would do that. I'd do my thing if I had ladies over or whatever, you know, so shit like that. But anyways, so one day we were hanging, right? we were just hanging with like a group of people that we all know. King K was there. I'm not gonna say any other names. She was there, the girl Sarah, and then a couple other people and stuff. So she had this younger cousin, right? And like at the time, I mean, she wasn't like young or anything like that, but like she was a little bit younger than what she was. But we're all in the relative age group, right? And like we always like seen each other by association and stuff, and like we wouldn't really say anything to each other, but like, you know, hanging in like the group that we hung in, like sometimes I would see her, she would see me, like we knew of each other. We didn't really know each other like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, so one day we were just hanging, and like me and her got to talking and stuff, and like yeah, I don't know, like I just realized that like I don't know, she was cool. She was cooler than I thought, like, because you know like when you have a song on your playlist and you always skip it, and like you don't know that it's fucking fire. That's kind of how I was feeling with her. Like she was that song that I would always skip, and like I didn't really give a fuck. But then like once I actually like got to know her, she was actually pretty cool. So yeah, they're cousins and stuff. Younger cousin. But yeah, so she yeah, we talk, whatever. Day ends, we go about our business. A couple days later, I get like a follow request on Instagram back when my page was private, and it turned out to be from her. And so I accepted it. Normally, I don't really go for that, usually because like I mean, I guess she did have like prior knowledge of me. Like I said, we both kind of like knew each other and stuff. So like, I guess it wasn't that weird. But like, when I don't know somebody very well and then I get like a follow request for them later, I usually avoid that because like usually they do like an extensive amount of stalking to kind of like get to where they are, you know, to like find me and shit. So, but like, you know, I didn't really go into that. I accepted, and like we started like small talking and stuff like that. And yeah, we were just like small talking, nothing too crazy, shit like that. And then my roommate, the girl that I roomed with, Sarah, she had said, "Oh, I heard you and my cousin, we're not going to name any names. I heard that you and my cousin were like, you guys hit it off. You guys like each other and shit like that." I was like, I mean, she's a cool girl and stuff, but like, you know, that's where it ends. Like, she's your cousin. I'm not gonna, you know, it is what it is. Like, she's a cool girl to hang with and stuff like that. And she's like, all right, that's cool. Just like, don't let me find out that there's ever more between you two. And that's like what planted the seed in me. And I was like, yeah. But like at first I was cool with it. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna do anything. We've been cool for. It was over like it was a while that we've been friends. It was a long ass time, over 5 years. I don't know if it was. I don't know. It was a long time. But anyways, so I respected her decision. Whatever. So I never hit up her cousin. Her cousin kept hitting me up. She kept on talking and shit, like small talking and like just finding excuses to like speak to me, you know? Like when people drag the conversation and it doesn't need to be dragged. Like, you know what I'm talking about. But, so yeah, she just kept on talking to me, and we ended up like hanging out or something. She like asked me to come to the mall or something. I was coincidentally already in the area, so I was like, fuck it, I'll show up. So we like went to the mall together, like got food and shit and like stuff like that. And I guess like, so my roommate, so I guess she has, what she likes to say, she has eyes everywhere. So I guess one of her peoples or one of her friends like had noticed me and her cousin out in public. And like, I guess she like snapped a picture and sent it to her. And she sees this, and like, she had sent me a text that day. She was like, oh, when you get back, I got something I want to talk to you about and stuff. All right, so cool. See her later that day. She talks to me. I'm like, so what's up? And she shows me the picture, and she's like, my friend said that she saw y'all being all like extra friendly and stuff. And I was like confused as fuck because like I really wasn't being like extra friendly or anything like that. Like it was just like a normal kind of chill and shit, and like, it was a public place. Like what are we gonna do at the mall? Yeah, I guess we could smash in the bathroom and shit like that. But like at that point, we weren't even like thinking about shit like that. We were just like kind of vibing with each other, So yeah, she just kind of like argued and shit with me, and I was like, she was just like, she was like, you know what I said, right? Like, if I find out that it's more, there's gonna be issues. I was like, there's nothing more. I don't know what you want from me. There's nothing more that I want from this girl, and there's nothing more that she's trying to get, I don't think. So, we were just kind of, we were just kind of hanging. So like, it is what it is. But anyways, she gets kind of defensive and stuff. She's like, she's just like, please keep it that way. We've been friends for a while, but I promise you, if you do what I think that you're about to do, or what I think that you want to do, we're no longer roommates. We're no longer friends. You're packing your shit. You're getting out. There's going to be no more hanging, no more anything. She's blocking me on everything. She made that very clear. I was like, all right, that's fine, because like, that's never going to happen. So fast forward. This was like a couple months later or something like that. So it was creeping up on her cousin's birthday, right? And she had still been like small talking me and like just like sending me things. Like she would send me memes and shit. We would send memes back and forth, or like send reels. They weren't reels back then. Or actually, maybe they might have been. No. But like, yeah, we were just sending shit back and forth. Nothing really spectacular or anything like that. She would get a little flirty here and there. But so basically, I completely forgot like how we got on this topic, but like, started talking about like hookups and shit, and like people that we had like been with or something like that. And she was talking about how like for her birthday she wanted like something special. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, yeah, I really don't know how we like segued into that, but like shit kind of like got flirty and stuff, and like she ended up like sending me like a booty picture or something like that. But like none of this was like asked for. Like I didn't ask for any of this. And yeah, it just kind of happened. But like I seen the picture and I was like, damn, she's kind of fine. So like at that moment, like when I seen that, everything that my roommate had said about don't let me find out that there's more and shit like that, all that just like had went out the window once I seen the ass. I was like, oh damn, this is for real. So like, yeah, everything just kind of went out the window, and like that part that she told me, it just kind of like, that shit was like blurred. I didn't even remember anything like that. So like somehow me and her just like, we just became like a flirt thing and shit like that. And like for a second, like, how like people like to talk a lot, right? So I was thinking that we were just like flirting and shit. We were just like being silly and shit, just doing what we do. And like I didn't think anything more was gonna come out of it. I really did not think anything was gonna come out of it. But I was just like playing along and shit. Stuff like that. So we did that for, a few weeks or so. And there was a couple of times like late at night where she had like jokingly said, oh, come over. I have like a warm place for you in my bed. Like I have an extra space for you in my bed. Something like that. Something along those lines. I don't really be remembering the exact shit that people say, but it was something along those lines. And like, I just jokingly laughed it off. Like, at those points, I was like tired of shit anyways, and like I had just got done with like whatever I got done with. Like I was working. Like back then, like I said, I didn't really have like reliable transportation or anything like that. So it was like, when I got dropped off somewhere, I was there like the whole day. Like, so I worked at a gym, right? And I had to be there. There was this one day where there was a client I wanted to train at like 6 a.m. I got dropped off at 6 a.m. and I promise you, I was there until closing, until midnight. And yeah, so like when I get dropped off somewhere, it's like, it's a done deal. It's like, you know, whatever. But anyways, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with that. But like, yeah, transportation was like hard. So like, it wasn't like I was really going to go over there and like, you know, I wasn't going to tell anybody to drop me off so I can like spend the night with this girl, you know. So yeah, we just like kept talking and shit and like, you know, flirt here and there. Fast forward a little bit more. All right. And oh, by the way, we were doing all this shit in secret. So my roommate, like, we kept it on the down low because I was like telling her, I was like, listen, we cannot tell, like you got to keep this separate. You got to keep her and I separate because, like, shit's gonna blow up if she finds out. And she was all like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like, you know, I'm not gonna tell. Like, you know, I'm a grown woman. Like, she doesn't need to be involved in my business and stuff. I guess they had like a really close relationship, and she was like kind of like my roommate was like kind of like a motherly figure to her, which is why she like cared so much and like why it was like such a big deal. And I guess another reason that she would always tell me, my roommate, she would always tell me, I know you and I know what you like to do. I've seen what you do and I know what type of person you are, and I don't want her around that. I was like, all right, fair, whatever. Okay, cool. Anyways, fast forward. It's her birthday, right? They had like a little celebration or whatever. I didn't go, of course. Like, I was just, you know, I didn't really go or anything. But like, I heard about it. Back then, I had Snapchat, actually. Like, back then, I don't use Snapchat anymore. I don't really use any social medias besides Instagram for promotion and stuff. But back then, I had like Snapchat and stuff, and I like saw it and stuff. I was like, oh, cool, yeah. It looks like you had a blast and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's like what I texted her. I was like, oh, it looks like you had a blast. It looked like it was fun. We were like catching up at the end of the day. It was like the end of the day. I was just like asking her about her day. She was asking me about mine and stuff and like what I did. And I was like, oh, that looks really fun. I wish I could have made it. I don't wish that I could have made it, but like, you know, the shit that you say to like make people think that, you know, you care. But, yeah, so I'm hitting her up at the end of the night. It's like 10 p.m. or something like that now, right? And like gradually as we're talking, like the conversation becomes like more and more increasingly sexual and shit like that. And like eventually it got to the point where she was like, come over and like, I was like thinking about it like any other night, like, you know, like, oh, she's just playing around, like, I'm not really gonna come and shit like that. But like, no, this time she was forceful. She was like, come over. And she like kept on saying it. And I made every excuse in the book to not do it. I made like every excuse. I think at first I was like, oh, you know, I'm tired or something. And she was like, oh, I have caffeine or I have like an energy drink for you or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, but like I just got off of work and like I probably don't smell the best. Like, you know, I just got done doing like a 12-hour personal training day and like, you know, demonstrating and like helping clients with shit. And she's like, that's fine. You can shower here. It's like completely cool. Like, I don't mind. And I was like, you know, I really didn't do like a whole lot of laundry this week. Like, I'm sorry. I wish I could. She's like, it's cool. You can do it here. I'm like, oh my God. She's finding every excuse in the book to like get me to come over. And then, I was just like, you know what? I really like, it all sounds enticing and stuff. It sounds really good, but it's just like, I don't have a ride. Like I don't have transportation right now. Like I don't have my own vehicle. So like, sorry. And she was like, I will come get you if that's like what you're worried about. Like, I'll come get you. I'll do whatever you need in order to like feel comfortable. And I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, I guess there really isn't like an excuse now. I was like, all right, can you give me like a little bit? So like, she gives me a little bit. I stopped texting her for a little bit. And I'm just like chilling, and I'm just like thinking over in my head. I'm just like, and by the way, none of this shit that my roommate said was like, none of it like clicked in my head. Like, I wasn't really even thinking about like the whole, like what was gonna happen afterwards. I was just like, damn. Because like part of me really, really wanted to, part of me really, really didn't want to. It was just like, I don't know. It was like nerve wracking. It was like, damn, is this really about to happen? Like, I've been seeing this girl around for years. Like, we've seen each other for years. We only started talking recently, and like now all of a sudden, you know, this might actually happen. Anyway, so I'm like, I didn't actually have to shower or anything. I just made up all those excuses and shit. Like, you know, I was just trying to get out of it. But so I was like all set and I was like all ready and shit. But I like took a minute and I was just like, damn, like what should I do? And like my roommate, she actually wasn't there at the time. Like she was off doing whatever the fuck else she was doing. I don't really know. I don't really get into it. She wasn't there at the time. So it wasn't like, she would have known if I like snuck away and like came back or something like that. So, and like we didn't have each other's location or anything like that. So it was like, it was cool. But anyway, so I'm just like thinking, I'm just like, damn. I'm like contemplating. I'm like, do I do it? Do I not? Do I do it? Do I not? And she like, she after a while, she like sent me a text and she's like, hey, you there? Question mark. And I'm just like, all right, yeah. You know what? All right, cool. If you can pick me up, I'll come hang for a little bit. You know, I'll come hang. And so she did. She's like, okay, be ready. And she was like 15 minutes away. She was like, be ready in 15. I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, I get dressed, and like the whole time I'm like thinking of like, damn, should I like say something to get out of this? Like, do I like, damn, something came up. Like, yo, I wish I could, but like. Moms, I don't know, man. But like I was thinking of shit to get out of it, and like I was just like, you know what? Worst comes to worst, like like it could be a fun time, it could be a bad time, it could be whatever, you know, somebody finds out, somebody doesn't, it doesn't really matter. So I kind of loosened up a little bit. I was like, whatever. So she comes, picks me up, we ride back to her place. And yeah, we were just like, we were chilling and stuff. I'm not gonna go into like super detail. This isn't like we're not going into like softcore porn and stuff like that. But like, so basically, yeah, we were just chilling for a second. We were like watching stuff, and like she was like, because it was her birthday, she was like really hype, and like. She was just like really happy. You know those people that are just like always in a good mood and they just like always want to be like up and moving and stuff. That was like her for those couple moments like on her birthday. Like she was just like so full of energy and stuff, and she was like, get up and dance with me and stuff. And like she put on music and we're like dancing in her living room and shit. And like we started like play wrestling and stuff and shit like that, because like for those of you that don't know, I used to do wrestling back in high school and stuff, and like, yeah, I guess I was like fairly decent at it. It's probably like the most jacked in my weight class, but you know, that's another story for another day. So yeah, we were play wrestling and shit, and I was like showing her moves, and I was like showing her like how to get out of like takeouts and stuff, like. I don't know, she like asked me to show her like if somebody ever like kidnapped her or was like trying to rape her or something. She was like, show me how to get out of these situations. So like she wanted to play the scenario where like I was on top of her, I was holding her arms down like this, right? And like I'm on top of her. So I'm like showing her how to like escape from that. And like you know, so show her how to escape and stuff, and then like, you know, whatever. I'm still on top of her. We're looking at each other and shit, making eye contact and stuff, and like, I'm sure you guys can imagine where this is going. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, we ended up like making out and shit, and then like making out obviously ended up going further. I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucked the shit out of this girl. Like I fucked, it was like, it was crazy because like, I don't know what it was that night. I don't know if I had like a pre-workout or like what it was, but something just like made me unable to nut. So I'm like going for like, I kid you not, like I'm not even exaggerating. I think it was like about 2.5 hours or something. It was something ridiculously crazy. And it was like, just like, I was like numb. It was like I put numbing cream on my shit. I just couldn't feel shit. And like, I don't know, my mind was just like completely disconnected. I didn't even know what was happening. It was like, yeah, out of this girl. And hold on, what the fuck did that just say? Something just popped up on the screen. I think we good. All right, cool. But yeah, I fucked the shit out of this girl, like so good in like every single position. And like, it was crazy. At the end of it, I was drenched in sweat. Like, it looked like I had just got done with like 20-30 minutes of like Stairmaster. Like that's what it was comparable to. Like, I was just like glowing. It looked like somebody baby oiled me up. Like, shit was like down my back and shit. Her bed was like fucked up, by the way, but like it was just crazy. But yeah, so we did that, you know. My mind is like fucked up for the rest of the night because I'm like, damn, that really just happened. And we did it probably like 2 or 3 more times or whatever. Anyways, so yeah, day ends, spend the night with her, come back in the morning, whatever. Like, we don't mention it, and we got away with it for a while. So basically after that, we became friends with benefits for quite some time, and we were just like DL fucking and shit. So like, we were just fucking, and like nobody really knew about it and shit. But here's where things start to go south. So it was basically like she basically just kind of like caught feelings, I guess. Like I don't know like the extent of it. She didn't really go into like the extent of like what she was feeling, but she was basically like, oh, I like you a lot, and like, you know, I want to continue what we're doing, but I want to be more. And at the time, I was just like, listen, I'm at like a weird place in my life where like I cannot offer you more. Like I would be a shitty boyfriend to you. I just can't offer you that. And like, you know, it was true. Like what I would say, it wasn't like to get out of it. It was more so like I was being real. Like I really couldn't like give her like what she wanted. First of all, I was working way too much to be spending as much time as she wanted to spend, because we were always spending some crazy ass time together, and like, it was just like, I got things to do. I can't be just like hanging with you all the time. And like, it was even to the point where, so this girl, she kind of has like the mommy daddy money, right? So like, it was to the point where she was like offering to pay me to not go to work. She was like, oh, what are you gonna make today? Or what are you expecting to make today? And I would say like a price or something. I'd be like, oh, I have this many clients, so it would be this price. And she was like, if you just stay here with me, I'll give you that, and we can spend time together, and we can do whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not having you pay me to not go to work. I mean, although that's pretty cool, but I'm not gonna do that. So, yeah, so I was just like, I can't provide you what you want right now. I can't give you more. And she was like, she was pretty bummed, to say the least. She was not happy at all. And that's how my roommate ended up finding out. Because like, we went through a little breakup period. It was a little breakup period. And like, she was like really down and like really sad. Like that whole high energy shit that she had before, that shit was gone. She was a different person. And I guess like my roommate had noticed it, and she like had asked her like what was going on and shit, and like somehow it ended up like coming out that like, you know, like we had a thing, but she didn't know the extent of the thing. So like, because I guess she just didn't go into detail. So then my roommate confronts me later, and she's like, listen, we're gonna sit down and you're gonna tell me everything that you guys did. I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course, like I was like playing dummy. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, yeah. But so yeah, she was like, be honest with me and look me in my eyes right now. Look me in my eyes and tell me, did you fuck my little cousin? And for a second, part of me like wanted to lie, but another part of me, the toxic part of me, for those of y'all that don't know, my name on Instagram used to be Toxic MF because I consider myself pretty toxic. But the toxic part in me, it really just wanted to say, like, yeah, I did, because I get the satisfaction of her knowing that I could do such a thing to somebody so close to her. I know, crazy, right? But anyway, so I decided to be truthful. I was like, yes, and well, let's say she didn't take it lightly. Like, so my roommate, she's really about that action. She's really about it. I was gonna say real nigga, but she's not necessarily. She doesn't really qualify as that. I guess a real bitch. But yeah. So yeah, she did not take it lightly at all, and like she's really about that action. So she immediately after I said yes, I did sleep with your little cousin. Oh, she started swinging on me. She started fucking just like, she was just like fucking like straight up boxer combos. Like she hit me with like a cross jab, fucking uppercut, and like she was like throwing elbows and shit. It was like turning into MMA and shit. So like me as like a reasonable human being, I was just like, I understood that she was mad. So like all I could really do was like take it, and like, but like how I tried to like thwart the attack was by like basically bear hugging, like, you know, the shit that we do when we're like men are being attacked by a woman. I just tried to bear hug the shit out of her, and she was like still like fucking headbutting me and shit, and like it was just crazy. And I was like, please relax, let me explain, and she was just still going. Like she fought me for like a good 10 minutes, and then eventually I got sick of her shit. I picked her up, and like we had like a, you know, obviously like a dinner table, and like I picked her up, and like I tried to slam her on the table, but I ended up putting her through the table, and the table broke and shit, and like she just like went flying on the ground and shit, and it was like crazy. And like I didn't mean to, like that really was not my intention at all. I was just trying to like slam her and be like, bitch, calm down or something, you know. I wasn't gonna hit her, I wasn't gonna strike her, but I tried to slam her. The table broke. It was flimsy. It fucking broke. She went through it. But like for whatever reason, that shit calmed her down immediately. Like a switch like flipped. Like once I put her through the table, it was like she remembered. It was like, oh shit, I'm not the only real one. This motherfucker's about it too. He's real. He's a real nigga. So yeah, it was like she remembered for like a split second who the fuck I was, and she just like calmed down. She so like after she was on the ground, she got up and she sat on the broken table, crisscross applesauce, like hands in her lap, and she just looked up at me and she's like, okay, tell me what else. I'm like, that's it. We just been fucking for a dumb long time, and like, yeah, like behind your back. And she's like, why wouldn't you tell me? And I was like, well, why would I tell you? And she was mad at her little cousin too for not telling her. And she but she stuck by her word, and she was like, listen, like after we got done talking and stuff, after she cooled down, after she went to go take a walk, she was like, get all of your shit. Well, she was like very calm when she said it. She wasn't saying it in like a loud way like I was. She was like, listen, I told you what was gonna happen, so please make sure you get all of your shit, every single last bit of it, all of it. Get the fuck out. I want you out by the time I get back. She was leaving. She was like, I want you out by the time I get back. I was like, alright, shit. Alright, so I get all my shit together. I never really bring like a lot of shit with me because of like this. I never excuse me. I never like put my name on leases and shit because like I like having the freedom to like be able to come and go as I please, and like yeah, so like her name was on the lease, so like really she could tell me to get the fuck out, and I was fine with it. I was like, all right, I'm good. I got to get the fuck out. You know, it's no big deal. You know, I get the fuck out. But so I got all my shit. I go back home with my parents. This was some years back. This was years back. I mean, I'm only 25. I turned 25 last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago. I don't know. I turned 25 recently. So when this was taking place, I might have been like, what, 19, 20, something like that. It was it was like before I had a car or something. Yeah, it was some years back. But anyways, so yeah, I got all my shit, went back home, and like I'm staying back at home. My mom's like, oh, what happened? Oh, what happened with you and your friend? I'm like, it's probably best we don't talk about that. But yeah, so me and my roommate, we were no longer like friends at all. Like ties were just like cut completely. It was done. It was a done deal. I had talked to the other girl, the cousin, and I was like, why did you end up telling her? And she was like, I'm sorry, it just kind of like slipped. It wasn't like, she said that she didn't mention it like directly. She said something that was like indirect, but it like implied that me and her were together or something like that. And then it like kind of like came out by that way. So yeah, it was crazy. So she was like, I'm sorry if I ruined anything between y'all. She apologized to me after I broke her heart, which was pretty cool. And I was, yeah, I was like, it's fine, you know, it is what it is. I just have this, it is what it is kind of attitude with everything in life. Like, it's just, you know, things are going to happen. People are going to fuck. People are going to break up. People are going to get back together. People are going to, you know, it is what it is. So, I mean, it sucked, like, thinking back, like, because I really don't, like, still to this day, I don't have a lot of friends. And, like, that was, like, one of them. That was, like, one of the people that, like, I really, really fucked with. So it kind of sucked, like, when she wasn't around anymore and, like, we didn't hang out anymore. I was like, damn, it's really over. Because, like, I would just sit in my room playing GTA and shit. And, like, I mean, like, she would play GTA with me sometimes, but, like, now I'm just, like, playing GTA by myself, and I'm just, like, alone and shit. So, like, it was lonely, but, like, at the same time, I wasn't, like, too stressed about it. It wasn't, like, anything. Fast forward, me and the roommate, we started talking again. We did not become roommates again, but we became civil towards each other. Like, we chopped shit up, and, like, it was good afterwards. Like, yeah, she was just like, I don't know if I can trust you the same way that I once did, but, like, you know, I could try, and we can go from there. And, like, so we were, like, cool for a little bit. We started building our friendship back up out of nowhere. Like, in more recent times, like, right now, the shit just, like, dropped off again. Like, we just don't talk at all, and there's no beef there. There's nothing that I have against her. I don't think there's anything she has against me. I think, like, we just fell off with communication. I changed my number quite frequently. She doesn't use Instagram much, which is, like, my main source of, like, contact and shit. So, like, it was just yeah. So we don't really talk. I don't know if she's in the lobby right now. I don't know if she's watching. Well, I don't know if she's clicked on or anything. But if she did click on, yo, what's up with you? You know who you are. But yeah, so that's kind of the story. The little cousin, she ended up like forgiving me and stuff, and like we ended up like fucking again and shit, and like stopping and then fucking and then stopping, and then like now same thing as my ex-roommate. Our communication just fell the fuck off, and like I don't talk to either of them anymore. They used to like fuck with my Instagram reels heavy. They used to comment. They used to be under it and be like, "Oh, good shit." They'll comment like 100 signs and shit like that, or like emojis. None of that happens anymore. So like I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, so that's the story. There's no beef with anybody. I just wanted to know. So like, I want to know. Do y'all think I'm wrong? So like, yes, that was a really good friend of mine, but at the same time, her cousin is a grown woman who can make decisions for herself. And, you know, she actively chose and she actively like tried her best, tried her hardest to get me to sleep with her. So like, I mean, yes, some of it is my fault, but I'm like, damn, I was like, what's the right word? It feels like I was extorted for sex. Like, let me go grab the camera. Like, I'm about to go shut this off, and like, I'll answer some of y'all comments and shit and see what y'all say and shit, and we can go from there, you know? But yeah, it's been real. Yo, to the people on YouTube, fuck with my merch, subscribe. I think I'm about to start doing this every Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. So look out for my videos. It's not exactly a podcast, but it's just a talk, I like to call it. So yeah, look out for my shit. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Fuck with your boy. All right.